I heard that you're gonna no more grade 9 is gonna be.
Well, because we're doing things differently on the elementary level. So part of the difficulty was with the self-contained classes on the elementary level. We weren't preparing kids for self-contained classes in a composite school. So we're hopefully, as we move the elementary schools in, that we have them prepared for composite schools. So they can have their small classes, they'll have Parkview type classes, and of course we have to move the shops. If the students decide they all want to go to Mountain, or if they want to go to Delta, that's fine. But I'm here more to listen to you now.
Well, what's your timeline though, like for that transition for the no more grade 9 type thing?
Well, for the operationalizing the grade 9s, basically they'll go to their home schools, or there's still Mountain will be open, right? So,
sorry. There was some mention of John Malloy making a compromise that they could go to Mountain, but isn't that the existing plan right now? Has that plan changed today?
The plan's always been kids could go to Mountain, kids could choose to go to Delta, or kids could go to their home school. And if they chose to go to Mountain, we would provide the transportation to do that. If they chose to go to Delta, then we could provide the small classrooms in Delta for those who need it. At a larger school, we can provide more options. Where if you chose to do, you could take music or extended art programs, those kinds of things as well.
So nothing has changed today then?
I understand Mr. Malloy had a lunch with the kids here?
Yes.
And told them that Mountain was, they'd like to, if they want all to go to Mountain?
That's always been in play, but I think that you need to hear it from the director, and I think people were quite happy about that.
He had never said to us that he had never said to us that we would go to Mountain all as one school. He had gave us 3 options. Those 3 options were to go to our home school, Delta, and Mountain.
Well, we thought it important that kids had choice and families had choice. So we didn't want to say you have to do this, but you could choose to go to Mountain. You could choose
But don't
to
you
go to
think,
Delta.
sir, with all of these choices, that the students who have learning disabilities maybe don't understand, maybe that confuses them?
We need to make sure that you understand. And I know Deb Jukes will be talking to each student and each family individually about the needs, what sort of assistive technology you might want, what location you want to go to. So each student's needs will be dealt with on an individual manner.
Is that more costly than maybe all in one facility, what do you think? Would be cheaper?
Well,
with
our new program strategy, with our Tier 3, those who need a lot of resources will get those resources. So we don't mind moving the resources to the kids who need it the most.
So the teachers at Parkview and like the existing sort of program, they will go partly to Delta and partly to Mountain, or will they all go to Mountain?
We heard Mr. Beatty's going to Mountain.
Yes, that was my understanding. We don't have anything to do with, it's up to the teachers to decide and the teacher contracts.
Now, what about Mr. Malloy had said that if we all went to Parkview and we all went to Mountain Secondary, that it'd be a 3-year, be open for 3 years. The first year would be the grade 10, 11, and 12s. Then the cutoff, the second year would only be 11 and 12s, and then the cutoff, and then the last year would be grade 12s. Now, what happens if next year, not just say us now, but what about the students who have learning disabilities severe all over the city that are coming up through high school? Are you going to make sure they have the exclusive programming of one facility to go to?
Yeah, what we're doing is in all of our composite high schools, or regular high schools, we have, in most of them now, we have kids with learning disabilities. We have about 20% of our students have some sort of learning disability.
You have statistics shown on paper, sir, or are we just pulling these out of the air?
No, that's information I have from
I'm
staff.
just asking.
That's a good question, George.
Because I've been, shuffled through, and personally, the reason why that I believe I speak on everybody that goes to Parkview, the reason why we're at one facility is because we can't function in a regular high school where there's, a class full of 30 kids.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if you're telling me that the grade 8s going into high school are going to have that, are you going to put them in smaller classroom sizes, or are they going to be thrown in the shuffle and pretty much in everyday high school life?
Well, that's a good question to ask staff, but my understanding is
Will staff be coming out? Will Mr. John Malloy be coming out, or no? Because I'd like to have a one-on-one meeting with him, because he had talked to me last Friday at Parkview, and it said that we could arrange a one-on-one meeting, and then I tried to talk to him today, and he ran away in his car, so.
There are always...
Well, hey.
There's a lot of kids. There are always kids that are going to need a smaller classroom, right? And so we provide that in all. We want to provide that in all of our schools with assistive technology as needed. So we deal with each kid as individuals. We find out what they need as a child, and then we give them those supports. That's part of the new program strategy, where we're trying to create diverse schools, as well as if you get as much assistive technology as you might need. So a lot of kids, the regular stream, they're good with regular stuff. There are some kids who need a little bit more help to get them on track, and there are a few kids that need a lot of help and a lot of assistive technology, the smaller classrooms, and a lot of supports. And the board wants
So
to
you're
make sure they
picking
get
and
them.
choosing over these different groups, basically. Of okay, this kid that has special needs. Oh, he's not high. He's not rated. He's not classified as high secure. So let's just put him in a group, and then let's
it's about equity. Part of our strategic direction is that we provide equity to across the board. As in life, some people learn differently than other kids, right?
Exactly.
And if you learn differently, it doesn't mean you're less or more than anybody else, but you just learn differently. And it's up to the school board to find out how you learn and to make sure that you do learn with the right things.
Actually, just let me ask.
Sure.
No. Yeah, I want
What does this do today when you see this?
That our students are politically active, which is good to see. You're not apathetic in the political system, and you have a voice. It's good to see that. That encourages me that you guys are going to do well in life, and that you guys will stand up for yourselves. And
Does it make you think you shouldn't have closed Parkview?
Yeah, I have the same question.
Well, the accommodation review we did over the last 2 years about moving away from the Parkview system. Originally, the plan was not to close it for 3 years. Originally, we wanted to partner with the city.
Do you think maybe why the reason you're closing our school now is because of the stadium and you want to build a new parking lot there? Is there something here with the Board of Education and the city of Hamilton that's being under the rug kind of thing
The
here?
original plan was to partner with the city on the Scott Park site. Remember, we were going to build a school on the Scott Park site in conjunction with the city.
I want to ask
Well,
a question though.
the city turned us down on that, and so it made no sense to then build the new school on the Scott Park site because it's too small by itself. We want to build a theater or something. There wouldn't be room or something for that.
I want to ask a question here. Sorry, I'm cutting you off. This inclusion, so everything that Jordan has done, people in the community, trustees, everybody, up until tonight, has no effect on the whole idea of the public school board's decision at all, because you guys are still going to go ahead with your inclusion, and you're saying that it works, but meanwhile, if it's the same system that they had years, prior up until tonight, even the kids now, it is not doing them well. So if it's the same system where you're saying they're going to have EAPs, they're going to have this and that in a regular school, it's not going to work.
Woo!
It's not going to work. Because kids are afraid in regular schools with regular, people that can catch on faster. They don't want to put their hand up. They're afraid that they're going to be called stupid.
Bullying
And they are.
rates are going to go up.
Bullying rates are going
More
up.
suicide,
It's all
more-
a smokescreen with the school board, with this EAP. I know, because he was in Ballard. And he got pushed through the system, and he can't understand French. Okay? Yet the school board didn't care about his assessments from the psych reports. It was all on paper, but they never did anything with that. There was an EAP in the class, and there was 30 children. How Jordan's supposed to go to that person, and then he misses another class. It was a smokescreen, sir. That's why he was having a hard time until he got to.
Yeah.
And I phoned the school board. I asked him. I said, "Is there a school that he can go to?" Because he was crying, because even his French teacher had said he would amount to a nobody because he didn't understand French. Yes, she did. And I don't know what her name is. Jordan had said it earlier. And I phoned the school board. And I don't think anything was ever done about it. And I couldn't wait for him to get to high school, because she told me there was no program in place for him in the elementary school.
We've done a lot to change our elementary school, and the elementary school panel for kids with learning disabilities so that they're more prepared for high school now. So, so that when they get to high school, they can read. Right?
Yes.
That's why, because of the situation at Parkview, where kids were going to high school couldn't read,
Right.
they'd be sent to Parkview, right? Well, one of the problems was that when I first became a trustee, was there wasn't enough. The teachers weren't given enough materials and resources to teach those kids how to read. So we brought in Wilson Reading Program. And then what we did on the elementary program, on the elementary side, is we brought K-2 reading in. So we moved a whole bunch of resources because we didn't want kids going to high school who couldn't read. We brought K-2 reading in so that if a kid's not reading by grade 2, we bring in all these resources for them so that this doesn't happen in the future.
Good.
And so,
Well, I'm happy about
so
that.
we've certainly been listening.
Finally, yes.
W.H. Ballard then, because W.H. Ballard has a teacher, Mr. Rogers, who teaches grades 6, 7, and 8, which is a learning class. I know because my 15-year-old attended that class. My daughter was informed that she would not attend any regular high school but Parkview. I have 2 children. My oldest attends Parkview. My youngest attends Glendale Secondary School, where we got her into because we worked with her and not against her by allowing the teachers to just push her along, right? Where is that in Ballard? Because Mr. Rogers, his line is none of my kids will ever go to a normal high school.
No.
They will all attend a Parkview Secondary. So if there's no Parkview Secondary, where are Mr. Rogers' kids going? Because that's a class all by itself. Like, he alienates your children. He makes them feel like they're beneath each other. My other daughter goes to Hillcrest, comes back from Hillcrest. No, she started Hillcrest at a grade 1 level in grade 4, could read at grade 1. Did phenomenal, has a brain injury, has been hit by a bus, goes to Parkview. Not the smartest, not the brightest, not the best at sports, but guess what? She's held her own in Parkview, right? She's doing good, right? And why? Because of Mr. Beatty.
Yes, because of Mr. Beatty, he has always gone out of his way.
And the Parkview programs will continue. They're
Well,
continuing.
I think it's just going to be a smokescreen.
No.
Seriously, I do.
We are very serious. You know, back
Children who are used to this is
6-7 years ago, I was looking at trying to fix all the schools in the ward and what they needed. And I would look at a board report and I wouldn't see Parkview on there. Well, now we see Parkview there. Now we go to transition committees and we have superintendents, we have directors, we have parents, we have principals from all sorts of schools. Everybody is looking out for the kids who go to Parkview now. And that's terrific because that wasn't happening before.
Prepared now to apologize to the parents in your response to my personal sensitive letter?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I sent out an apology. When I had written that letter, I went back and looked at it after I saw the response to it, and I saw that it was very insensitive, and I do apologize for that.
Okay, so apology has, and this goes to every parent.
Absolutely, and tomorrow night I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be apologizing. It wasn't my intent to offend anyone. I feel sick about it. That's certainly not.
Okay, because every parent has a story to tell.
Yes.
Okay? And I was willing to open up and say, look, if it wasn't for Parkview, my son wouldn't be doing what he's doing now.
That's right.
Working full-time.
That's right.
And loving his job. Mr.
Exactly.
Beatty and
Exactly.
everything else that comes with Parkview Secondary.
And isn't that the point, Tim? You
Yes.
talk about fixing schools, but Parkview is not just a school.
That's
It's
right.
a community.
Exactly.
I mean, breaking up the
I know.
community.
That's right.
This is a safety net for them. When they go to
You're not
Parkview,
fixing
they're
it,
not
you're
worried
breaking
about is Brandon or is Kayla or is Hope or is somebody smarter than me? Are they all come from pretty much the same thing, right? They all have the same problems. They all have the same struggles. When you go to Delta, hello, I have friends, their kids go to Delta. Delta is not a nice school.
So when they do this,
It's
so
a
when the
great school
inclusion
to a
comes,
certain
sir,
extent.
when the inclusion comes, sir,
But I got friends who go there, and I got friends' kids who go there, and I know my one friend's daughter won't even go back to Delta because of the bullying. And why? Because she was deemed
Bullying is a major
She was
problem.
It's a
high.
major problem in any
She's
school,
high
and the school board is not cracking down on it. There's all kinds of things on TV, internet, nothing is working. My grandson is having a problem with bullying, and he's 10, and that's been going on since my twins were born, 31 years ago, sir.
Bullying is
And
very
it's
difficult.
still, the school board is doing nothing about it. My grandson goes to the teacher on the playground, tells her, she says, go play. And then when he does go and hit another kid, he's the bad one. Why is that? Why is that? Because he's self-defending himself.
Don't you think that you're gonna, when you put the three schools together, it's gonna increase
Yes.
bullying?
And why isn't there going to be a special wing?
Threats from
It's the way it
bullying?
is today.
Is there going to be a special wing set aside for these high school students? They're very vulnerable. They're very sensitive children.
Yeah.
Jordan deals with them every day because he's the president of the school. Seriously, sir. They cry to him. He is everything, and this child has this huge heart and shoulders for all these kids.
That's right.
So, you can't tell me they're going to do well when even professionals all across Canada have proven inclusion is not going to work. It's like the Inuit. They were up in the North Territories. The government took them and pushed them into schools. Like she said, took them out of their community. That is a community. That's where they belong. Yes, they're being prepared. They are being prepared when they grow up, okay? Some people in the community are saying, well, you can't coddle them. You know what? It takes a little bit longer, okay? They are thriving. My son has had co-op. A lot of these kids have co-op. They're doing wonderful. They're getting jobs out of them. They're going to Mohawk. They're graduating. And if they want to talk about the percentages, Jordan was looking at a regular high school. I don't know if it was in Ancaster or Dundas somewhere. And it was a 2% average. You got to realize some of these kids take longer, so they're going to stay in school a little bit longer. Some are never going to graduate, okay? Because that's the way it is.
Learning.
Exactly. We got to give them the tools to learn in life, because otherwise they're going to be dropouts. Just like these trade schools were back in the 70s. All these kids were dropouts and they had a bad name. Now, it's not that way at all. Parkview and Mountain is a community. These kids are not bad kids. They want to learn. They want to learn, but they have problems.
They want to succeed.
I know.
They want to succeed.
Because Parkview's closing. He's scared that he's going to go to a school and get bullied so badly that he's not going to want to leave his house.
Well, that's it. And that's what happened to Jordan in public school. He cried. He didn't want to go to school.
Yeah, that's...
It's a major issue.
And do you even understand what we are talking about? Or are you just being hired to get your fancy paycheck and your Lamborghini? Why don't you come to our school and see what's going on? Why don't you care about our school?
I do care about it.
You don't. You're just saying, I'm a grade 9. Like, how do you think this affects me? Like, I have to choose a different school next year. Why should I have to choose a different school when you guys want to shut our program down? Our school, that's like a second family to me.
Right.
We are a family. We don't want
Do
to
not understand.
No.
Or you just...
Is your plan going to Mountain?
I'm not going to Mountain. I wanted to go to Delta, but after hearing what she said about her daughter going there and being bullied, I might not go to no school.
There's a lot of great kids at Delta. There's a lot of great
I don't want
kids.
Delta. I don't want Mountain. I want Parkview.
We want to keep Parkview.
There are a few bad apples.
It's like sticking the mentally challenged in with like the most intelligent people in the world and saying, catch up, be part.
No, he's saying there's a special, it's going to be a special support. But still, even the interaction,
With modern technology,
even the
there's a lot
interaction
of
with other teenagers is totally
If
different.
they turned out to the classes be 15 to 1,
I think
right now.
I think you guys all have something to offer. Whatever school you choose to go to.
and to stay as a family and to stay together because we always stand up for each other no matter what.
I think you could also influence the Delta kids too, don't you?
But
If
they
that's what you
also
decided.
have a lot more different stuff than we do, and we have our school and we have our classes and we have our programs. Like I can see about 5 kids here that got their G1 this month.
Good. That's great.
Yeah, and you really think that if we go to Delta, that we're gonna get offered the same things we were at Parkview? No. Or we're gonna be a family like we were at Parkview? No, we're not. I can guarantee that half the kids standing here right now, once they walk in Delta, they will get bullied.
Or end up dropping out.
Or end up dropping out or get jumped the first day at
Dropping
school.
out, that's what they were saying
trying to kill
the
themselves.
professors and everything that have done the surveys and everything on the children, these
Also-
children.
Well,
They will
you
be
know,
dropouts.
tomorrow we have a meeting, and then, you know, Wednesday there's a meeting.
There's a
sort of
meeting here, there's a
storefront.
meeting there.
And
when
where you can talk
actually
to Delta
decide to start
people.
making changes.
Yeah,
I think
well,
Mr.
come
Malloy
and
should
talk.
come out.
I think you should come out. I have
Do
a
you
couple
not
questions to ask
understand
him about,
how much
I have a couple questions.
Tomorrow
to ask him.
night, we're going to be at the Sherman Hub.
Oh, so
You came out, why can't he
Yeah,
come
why
out?
can't he come out?
Well, he's busy. I'm not
appreciate you
actually
coming out.
supposed, I'm not
He's
supposed to be out here.
That's one of those.
You guys are busy. Mr. Malloy, I think you should come out here.
He has to work in there. He has to work in there.
So
5 minutes and you go back in. 5 minutes. Give him 5 minutes to come out.
nothing has changed.
5 minutes. 5 minutes is time he can go.
Nothing has changed, nothing has changed.
Just to keep
Well,
these guys.
I'll be sharing what
kids
you
happy.
told me
We were out
with staff
last
tonight.
week. You had canceled the meeting last
Absolutely.
Wednesday. We were out protesting in a snowstorm. That should tell you a lot about how we care about the programming and for the students who are coming up through the system that you're pushing through. Also, I'd like to say that Mr. Malloy had said to me in a meeting last week at our school that he was reviewing and scrambling, trying to figure out a solution. He'd come up with a solution. We appreciate that. But what about the kids coming up through the system who are going to need that programming there next year? And also, Mr. Malloy had said to me that he's reviewed the student forum voices. Now, I'm under the impression, I had asked him, well, sir, did you review the ones where the students were bawling their eyes out into the camera? Because a board member was there telling them to talk in it when they were crying. I know. And he had said, yes, I reviewed it, and, I mean, I just have a couple questions to ask him. I've been trying to get a meeting with him. You know, is it possible that he could...
Five minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes.
He'll be at the Sherman Hub meeting tomorrow, so where people can ask questions.
This girl here has something to say.
And then on Wednesday, no, Sherman Hub's a community.
He's here now. Why doesn't he come
And
out?
because he's working right now.
Mr. Simmons,
We can take 5 minutes
out of it. 1 second. She needs to tell you something. Just give her a second.
When I'm at school to Parkview, I've been bullied my whole life. And I've been darkening and I've been this and that. I have cried my eyes out every day saying that I do not want to go back to Parkview because of this. It hurts that people are getting bullied because there are differences. It's not fair.
What's your name? What's your name? Kayla? Okay, Kayla. I'll talk to the teachers so that somebody can talk to you.
This is the reality.
But
I went to the principal, my grandma stood up with me. My grandma went to the principal and told him, come to the I would just walk back to school every day.
Oh, that's all right.
It stopped finally. It hurt me that my friends are getting picked on, that my friends can't stand up for themselves, but I'm trying to stand up for them. It hurts me to see that I have to stick up for my friends who get hurt every day.
yeah, I know.
That's what my mom's trying to get to, is that we're getting bullied and no one's doing nothing about it for us.
You're getting bullied at Parkview?
I was bullied through Hillcrest to Parkview. Chris Donut started calling me Dark Vader. Everyone in the school started calling me it. Because I went through a lot. I went through a bus accident. I went through surgery. When the school board decided to kick me out after 3 months because I missed school.
So what grade are you in now?
12. I'm repeating grade 12 all over again. Because I was kicked out because I was in surgery for 3 months. I did not notify the school board.
Okay, so they didn't know. But you're doing okay now? You're doing okay now? Everything's going okay at school?
Yeah, there are kids still that pick on me at times for it, but that was the only cool
Are you
thing.
still getting bullied?
A little bit.
A little bit? Yeah. So it happens.
I go to
It
Mr.
happens
Woolley
everywhere.
every time.
Okay, good.
Why?
Good.
Honestly, the school changed my life. I
was
just about to say was horrible at spelling and math, and when I came to Parkview, it literally improved my skills, and I met a whole bunch of nice people and changed my life. And they're my family, and I don't know what I'll do without them.
Why couldn't you just move our school to a different location and keep it open? I understand that you're moving it, but why don't you keep it open and keep it open for the grade 8s and the grade 7s and the grade 6s and the grade 5s? They don't, the future kids.
What we're hoping is for a lot of the kids, is by the time they get to high school, kids like yourself, they'll be reading.
But the grade 8s right now, they don't have that right now because it's next year. They have nowhere to go.
We've been doing
They
this.
have
We've been
nothing
doing
to
this
do.
for the last. We've been working on this for the last number of years to get these kids up to speed for reading. If you don't know how to read, you can't do things, right? It makes life so hard. So that's why the board has put all these extra resources into K-2 reading and to make sure kids.
But if they had that when they were kindergarten, I would understand.
Exactly.
But now that they're in grade 8 already,
And going to high
grade
school.
six, and even grade 5, all the grade 5s, they already
through 5 years, 6, 7 years of school, and they don't. They're
We've been
lower,
doing this
right?
for the last few years, so we've been getting caught up with the elementary panel so that the kids can read. And if there's still extra supports that they need, because some kids will always need extra supports. There'll always be some kids who need small, self-contained classrooms. There'll always be those kids. But we want to make sure those kids don't have to leave their neighborhood. They can stay with their friends, and they can go to the same high school as their friends and have that special programming in their neighborhood high school, so that they feel like they're part of their.
But our school has changed people for so many. Like all these people here have got changed by Parkview because they've taught us actually how to learn and how to learn better, how to stand up for each other, how to live like
each other family. And every day I wake up knowing that I'm going to school, learning the things I need to know to succeed in my life. And since it's shutting down, I seriously don't know where I go.
We don't want a Delta community. We want
You're in grade 12 now?
No, I'm in grade 11.
Grade 11, okay. So, well, you'll be able to discuss that with your family and with Deb Jukes and with the teachers about what is the best fit for you, what supports do you need to go with you, and what will make you the happiest to succeed.
We've already had people from Delta, people from John A, people from Cathedral, people from all over other schools come to our school and start drama and tell everybody they're stupid and a whole bunch of stuff like this. So why are you guys just bringing us closer so we can just get into more fights, more drama, more bullying, more deaths? Because I know a lot of people have tried to kill themselves because of bullying, and the suicide rates are going to go skyrocketing because of this change and putting us all together if they're already trying to do it while we're at our own environment.
Mr. John A, Delta, and Parkview, it's going to make it worse. Just keep it the way it is.
Do you think that there are kids that have anxiety issues?
Oh yes, a lot of
What
people
about
do.
kids that can't go into a bigger school?
Thank you so
They'll have small classrooms, but that's what you need to talk to the staff about when they talk to you.
Yeah, they still have to see all the students, and they're still going to have a problem with the classroom.
It's anxiety is a natural part of life for all of us, and we all deal with it. So it's something to really talk about in school.
So you're telling us to deal with our anxiety?
No, I have to. No, I'm saying is we all have. No, I'm saying.
You just messed up on what you just said.
No, I'm saying.
And now it's on camera, and everybody's going to see this, and just realize that you are making us deal with our anxiety instead of.
I have to.
No, I'm not stopping, Jenny.
I have to take this back to the staff, right? And we have to talk about what you said here, so that they understand and get feedback, right? This is why you do this.
But why are you trying to fix something that's not even broken? This was working perfectly. People were getting through high school. They were doing it. They were doing it good.
Really good jobs and getting
She's in
good
college
money.
now. She came from Parkview and she's in college now, and she's going to go get a job and everything. Why are you trying to fix something that's not even broken?
We're going to build a new state-of-the-art school there.
I don't understand why you guys are going to spend around $40 million on a brand new super school when you have a bunch of schools that are perfectly fine that may need a little bit of maintenance to keep it running. That's going to cost way less than millions of dollars that you're just throwing away when you can just keep all our schools, keep all our programs, keep what we need, and just give us what we want. Don't take stuff away from us. Just because you guys are big shots in your fancy Lamborghinis and your nice offices and your freaking lofts downtown, why are you going to take away stuff?
I have to go back into my...
Oh, you're going away because we're sticking up for our school?
No, I'm not.
Yes, it is. You don't want to face the truth. Realistically, open your earns, stop earning a paycheck for the little stupid stuff you have to say. You probably rehearse this in your freaking office, upstairs and whatnot.
Okay,
Richard,
you going back? Just relax. Okay, they're probably just gonna tell us. They're probably just
Deal with your anxiety issues.
Listen.
Seriously?
I don't think so. You know what? They're probably just gonna tell us to say it in the student forum voices like we always do, and they'll review it when, they won't review it.
Why would they review it when we're right here? Why can't you just face the fact?
It is what it is, right? I mean, Malone, he came to our school today, right? Had no problem coming to our school. He talked to us, right? He seems like a friendly guy. But then as soon as he puts the suit on, it's a different guy, right? So
Where's Malone?
you can't go anywhere.
No, where is he?
He's right there with